Hello everyone, welcome to Harry's Success Point. In the previous videos, we discussed about cell organelles and cell reproduction. Today in our video, we will discuss about digestion and absorption. So as you all know, in the living system, there are various life processes such as nutrition, transportation, metabolism, excretion and reproduction. So nutrition is one of the most important life process that sustain life in the living system. Food is an important requirement of all living organisms. Irrespective of the size of the organism, they require food mainly for growth, health, maintenance and repair of damaged cells and reproduction. The all-over process by which living organisms synthesize or produce their food is called nutrition. Nutrition can be of two types, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. As it is given in the flow chart, phototrophic nutrition can be of two types. They are phototrophic nutrition and chemotrophic nutrition. In the case of autotrophic nutrition, for example plants, they mainly depend upon a source of light, that is mainly sun, for getting their energy. When we come to chemoautotrophs, such organisms depend upon chemical energy to synthesize their food. For example, sulfur bacteria. Sulfur bacteria break down hydrogen sulfide to release certain amount of energy. This energy is used by the bacteria to produce their food. And when we come to heterotrophs, they mainly depend upon autotrophs for their food. For example, animals. They are not able to produce their own food. That is why they depend upon plants mainly for their food. This heterotrophic nutrition can be divided into different types, mainly holozoic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition and mixophytic nutrition. So now we are going to consider holozoic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition or holotrophy is the nutrition in which complex solid or liquid food materials are taken into the body and digested inside. So in such animals or in holozoic animals, we can see a well-defined digestive system. So now we are going to consider the digestive tract or the alimentary tract and the associated digestive glands. As you all know, alimentary canal, it is also called digestive tract and it begins from the mouth and ends up in anus. So mouth is the anterior opening whereas anus is the posterior opening of the alimentary canal. Mouth opens into an oral cavity which has a number of teeth and a muscular tongue. In humans, there are 4 kinds of teeth. They are incisors, canines, premolars and molars. This condition is called heterodont condition. Then each tooth is fixed in the jaw and hence the dentition is thecodont. So the tooth is fixed in a theca or small depressions in the jaw. Moreover, humans have 2 sets of teeth, the milk teeth and the permanent teeth. So this condition is called diphyodont condition. The teeth and tongue works together to break down the large and complex materials into simpler forms. The oral cavity opens into a pharynx. It is a common passage for food and air. The respiratory tract opens into the pharynx and the opening of food pipe is also located here in the pharynx itself. The respiratory tract, the so-called windpipe or trachea, is protected by a cartilaginous flap called epiglottis. Epiglottis prevents the entry of food into the respiratory tract. Pharynx leads to esophagus, which is a thin pipe that ends up in the stomach. The main function of esophagus is to conduct food from oral cavity to the stomach. The characteristic movement of the food pipe is called peristalsis. This movement helps in carrying food to the stomach. Stomach is a J-shaped bag-like muscular structure that is associated with the digestion of food. At the junction between the esophagus and stomach, there is a gastroesophageal sphincter, which regulates the opening of esophagus into the stomach. It also prevents the backward movement of food into the esophagus. The stomach has three parts. They are cardiac portion, fundic region, and pyloric portion. The pyloric region of the stomach opens into a small U-shaped region of the intestine, which is called the duodenum. It is followed by ileum. Duodenum is the initial part of the small intestine. To the duodenum opens the pancreas and gallbladder of the liver. Small intestine is a coiled tube where major components are reabsorbed or absorbed into the blood. The inner wall of small intestine is characterized by a small finger-like projection called villi. The cells that line villi produce numerous microscopic projections called microvilli. These structures increase the surface area for maximum absorption. Then ileum, the rest portion of the small intestine, opens into the large intestine. It consists of cecum, colon, and rectum. In large intestine, a large amount of water is reabsorbed into the blood. Large intestine opens to the exterior through the anus. So, these are the organs that are present in the alimentary canal or in the digestive tract. Then, the glands that are associated with alimentary canal are called digestive glands. The main role of digestive glands is to aid digestion. That means to produce some enzymes which enhance digestion. And the digestive glands include salivary glands, liver, and pancreas. Three pairs of salivary glands are present. They are parotid, submaxillary, and sublingual. The secretion of salivary gland is called saliva. Saliva mixes with the food and helps in mastication, and also it initiates the digestion of carbohydrates. Liver is the largest gland in the body. The bile juice secreted by the liver is stored in the gallbladder, which opens into the duodenum. Bile juice helps in the emulsification of fat. Another important digestive gland is pancreas. It is an endocrine as well as an exocrine gland. The secretion of the pancreas called the pancreatic juice is released into the duodenum. It mainly helps in the digestion of proteins. The endocrine part of the pancreas secretes hormones such as insulin and glucagon, which maintains a constant blood glucose level in the body. So, the secretions of these three glands helps to enhance the process of digestion. And in our next video, we will see how these secretions enhance the process of digestion. So, for more videos, watch our channel. Thank you.